All right. Happy Wednesday night, everybody. What if Wednesday around these parts? I know you started your day on the website, theraiderland.com, every day. Raiderland hot links, fresh, hot, the best links you're going to find. Raiderland and beyond. So check it out every day, theraiderland.com. All right. It's What If Wednesday. We love alt history around here tonight. We're asking the question, what if the NCAA started paying players 15, 20 years ago? I said 15 on the website, 20, 20, whatever. 20 seems like a long time. It's really not that long ago. Tech men's basketball on your mind? Yes, it should be. 2 road wins in Utah. You own the territory of Utah. We hear they're applying for statehood. We wish them well. They might make a fine state. That'd be awesome. So, all that, whatever else is on your mind. The winter weather so far has been a dud in West Texas, and that's great. We hope it's that way for the rest of the state as far as nasty weather. You know what to do to get in the early arrivals. Let us know the audio is good, the video is good. Give us thumbs up, give us hearts wherever you're watching, whether it's on YouTube, our YouTube channel. We hope you subscribe. Don't cost nothing right now. It's Raiderland. On Twitter X at Ryan Hyatt Media, on Facebook Live. You tell us. We want to hear from you. Thanks to United Supermarkets. In 3, in 2. Good evening, West Texans, all you good, fine, friendly folks out there who wish you were. Welcome on into the daily broadcast. We sum up the day with you every night around 6:30, whether it's Texas Tech, West Texas, anything that's on your mind, college sports, NFL. You tell me what you want to talk about. We are coming to you tonight, brought to you by the Shropshire Agency in Lubbock, Texas. Independent, just like Great West Texans. Let them take care of your insurance needs in 2025. And all of our communications, chat line or otherwise, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitter X or Facebook, thank you, United Supermarkets, where, I was there earlier this afternoon. Cat litter, milk. Don't confuse the two. And they had plenty of each. So we got a lot of stuff to do tonight. A lot of basketball. Give me your thought. I'm going to go over why basketball mattered last night and why it didn't matter as much as some people may think. So let's get it going tonight. And then the What If Wednesday, we love alt history. What if the NCAA started paying players 15 or 20 years ago? What if they'd created a mechanism then, and would it have headed off NIL? What would change? Would it be better today than it is now? You tell me. Jakob is on Twitter X, says X working for now. We've had problems with people, getting in on Twitter X on the chat. Obviously, Jacob can do it. So everybody who's watching on Twitter, you can get in with your thoughts, your questions, or comments, anything you want to talk about. James, thumbs up. There's our Facebook rocking and rolling. And then Jeff is on our YouTube channel, right now it's Raiderland on YouTube. Don't cost nothing. Everybody on YouTube, thanks for watching. Hit thumbs up, share it, grow it. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube. We were late to the YouTube party. We've owned Twitter forever. Facebook has been great to us. But we were early on Twitter in the old Periscope days. That's right. The talking box is on for those who know the deal. Late to the party on YouTube. We're still trying to get that channel a lot of growth. And I know there's a ton of Texas Tech people who follow us and watch it. Subscribe to the channel. That helps it make, everything better. The more people. So that's what we're doing tonight. They're saying overnight into tomorrow, maybe in West Texas around the Hubbleplex, might see some snow, an inch or two. We'll see. We dodged it today. Here at the studios, we had maybe 30 minutes of snow flurries this morning. Nothing to speak of. Scott, he's on Facebook. That's not a drug. How come Texas Tech men's basketball completely forgot the meaning of a charge or how to step in to get one? Don't know. If you're talking about last night, the officiating was decidedly 100% pro-Vo. As far as getting charges and everything else, I don't know. I hadn't done a deep dive on it. But you were getting hammered by the officials last night. You overcame it. You won 72-67. You started last night 69 on the Hoops HD nitty gritty number. We pay attention to two sites. You pay attention to two sites. Ignore Ken Palm. Ignore Joe Lenardi. Ignore everything. You pay attention to hoopshd.com. Chad Sherwood. You pay attention to brackettville.wordpress.com. Going into last night, Texas Tech, decidedly not even on the bubble, outside the bubble. Your HD nitty gritty yesterday was 69. Hey, congrats. You beat the number 68 nitty gritty team last night, but you went up to 60. Now you need to be around 40 and inside the 40 number to be an at-large bid this year out of the Big 12. That gives you an idea of what you got to do. It was a big win last night because it was a road win and you had to have it and you had to stack success. And now you've got Iowa State, the number 3 team in the country, and their RPI is that good. Their HD is 3. If you can play Iowa State single digits Saturday, you're going to go up pretty good. I mean, if you beat them, you're going to go up really big. Close loss, you're going to be fine. Blowout loss, all you're going to get is the metric of playing in the Big 12, which in years past, you were already in the NCAA tournament. In years past, when you were playing in the Big 12 and you played a team like Iowa State, well, guess what? You were already like a 5 seed or a 4 seed. You're a no seed right now. You don't get that going forward. You've got to earn it. So, for Scott, charges don't. 20 years ago, paying players would have prevented the Reggie Bush kerfluffle. He had a kerfluffle. He was wearing it when he came in. I don't know what happened after that. Ricky Williams could have had an NIL deal with cannabis dispensers. Nah, that would have been too early for that in the 90s. But yeah, 20 years ago, 2005, what if they start paying players then? Does that change the landscape today? Does it alter NIL? If the NCAA had created a mechanism to pay student athletes based on a portion of the revenue, you're not getting $1 million, you're getting $30,000. We did a breakdown several years ago on the old Williams and Hyatt show. This was in probably 2010 or 2012. And we're looking at coaches' salaries then, in the top coaches. And that if you took $1 million off a football coach and spread it out over the course of all the scholarship athletes on the team, that's a decent chunk of change. They could pay the coaches, they could build the facilities, they could spend all the money on the amenities because they weren't paying for labor. And we've talked about that for decades, that the NFL is really Spartan when it comes to facilities and otherwise. Not talking about the stadiums that you guys build because you're dumb taxpayers and you get suckered into it. But the actual things that the owners have to build pale in comparison to the palatial college football facilities. And this is going back 20, 30 years. I remember seeing the Arizona Cardinals facility in the late 90s going, my God, this is like a bad apartment complex. This is an NFL team? Yeah. You know why it didn't look great? They had to spend the money on the players. So what if 20 years ago they start doing this? Would it have changed things for the better? Would college sports be better today if they'd started paying 20 years ago, 15 years ago? You tell me. Tech basketball, Jeff, big win last night. Back-to-back Big 12 wins on the road. Always good. D5, D5 carried them the last 10 minutes. He was great. Hawkins was good again. Toppin the whole time. And he flew in to Utah. He got hammered for 2 fouls at the airport. It just continued to go on and on. That you've won 2 games on the road in the territory of Utah. We hear they're looking at becoming a state. And you did it without your best player. And JT Toppin is your best player. He needs to be your best player. He has to be your best player. Come Saturday against Iowa State, JT Toppin has to look like an All-American type player. All right? But that's great that you did it without him. with other guys stepping up. And I'm a big fan of Hawkins right now. Have been all year. You guys know that. Jacob, men's basketball is fine. Get 3 in a row, and preseason didn't matter and maintain. No, it does matter. 3 in a row. Yeah, if you beat Iowa State, guess where you are? You're back on the bubble. You beat Iowa State, you're on the bubble to get in the NCAA tournament. And then I look at my dry erase board up there, and I'm seeing January and February and all the teams you got to beat. No, you're not fine by any stretch of the imagination. You got a 2 month and a half slog because of the preseason. Preseason matters. Good evening, sir. Good evening to you, respected official. Does Cam Newton still go to Auburn, or does his daddy get him an even better deal? All right, so we're talking about if the NCAA had allowed paying players 20, 15 years ago, how would that change? That was 2011, I think. 2010, 2011 on Cam. So, in the window, whatever we want to do. Who's paying what? That initially it would have been a salary cap deal. That if the NCAA had controlled it initially, that you would have had a standard number that every athlete got $10,000, $15,000. Would that have staved off things and not created the wild, wild west, as people like to call it, and I don't think it is, that we see today? I say no, by the way, that it would have been a more gradual progression, but it wouldn't have changed NIL. NIL was going to happen. The courts told you that. NIL was going to happen. That you were illegally controlling the ability of a grown person to make money off what they do without a collectively bargained agreement. And even with the CBA, you still have NIL in the NFL. Have you seen commercials done by Patrick Mahomes? You know what that is? That's NIL. It amazes me that some people still don't understand that. That's all that is. But what about fair market value, which is another great discussion that the NCAA is dealing with now as they come up with this random, arbitrary salary cap of $20.5 million or whatever it's going to be that the school can do. And then the NCAA still can't come back and say anything about NIL, which is why Kirby Hocutt was talking about Tech Baseball. Yeah, we're going to give you 1.5% of the $20 million for your salary cap for baseball. Hey, guess what? You guys can still go get NIL deals theoretically through the, Matador Club, whatever you want to do. Doesn't change anything. Jared asked, in your opinion, which I assume would be mine, how much has social media inflicted the pain of players? 20 years ago, we didn't have iPhones or social media, AOL Instant Messenger. No, we did. What do we have? We had MySpace 20 years ago? 20 years ago? 05? Yeah, we would have had MySpace, right? We had Did we have Facebook? No, probably not Facebook. We had internet. I don't think it's inflicted the pain of players by any stretch. This is where the team needed to be in mid-December. Talking about Tech basketball. Again, the HD number is 60. That's horrible. You're way outside the NCAA tournament. Influence, not inflicted. Influence, everything influenced. Hello, this is not David Collier. Hold on. Did I reference you as David Collier earlier? If I did, I apologize. And we welcome in David Coker, who, to my knowledge, has never been and is not the sports director, Red Raider Nation, KMAC 28. ABC affiliate in West Texas. Danny, people don't us MySpace anymore. Oops. Use. Yeah. I mean, Tom says, hey, got some good music to share. Jeff, where we needed to be as far as the team gelling identity, etc. Well, no, and I would say this is where the team needed to be, at least in the around 60, to my original point. But what you're saying as far as gelling, it hadn't even gelled yet. I mean, you get 2 good wins, but JT Toppin wasn't even a part of it. Now imagine Toppin being a part of this team Saturday against Iowa State. Now I'm not saying, and we're going to do a deeper dive come Thursday, Friday going into the game. And I'm not going to pick Tech to win the game. Iowa State's really good. Tech's not there yet. They're not. But this team isn't even close to who they could be, should be. You've had very few minutes where Federico, Fed times 2, the journey of a young man from Helsinki to Minsk, Rochelle. Nobody ever gets it. Nobody ever gets the reference. I'm disappointed in you guys. Every time I do it, nobody gets it. This team hadn't even come close to gelling. The problem, again, is they're so far behind the curve. They're going to be playing catch-up in the second best league in America right now, if you believe that the SEC is that much better than the Big 12 right now. I don't believe they are. They got a lot of great teams. The Big 12 does too. They're going to feast off their number, though, RPI, we use the term still, the way the Big 12 has the last 8-9 years, maybe 7-8 years. So they get that benefit this year. You don't. So it's not a good year to be trying to do that. But yes, Jeff, I understand what you're saying, but I don't even think they've gelled yet. David Coker, not Collier. No, you didn't, but text me last week thinking I was Collier. Oh, yes, I did. I apologize for that. That was awkward. Collier, if you're watching, explains a lot, truly does. I just hit buttons. I got a phone. Hit buttons. I type things. So Scott says, Jeff, how do you think NIL should work? In my opinion, I think it should be a 2-year type deal of some sort. Thoughts? Who's Jeff? I don't know. Jeff, answer the damn question for Scott. Answer the question. NIL can work any way it wants to. The person paying the money can say, you want to get it, for a year, you get it for a year. You want it 2 years, whatever. That if you want the money, you got to stay here 2 years. That's an NIL deal. The scholarship / school is totally different. And that's where you have to understand that NIL is now separate from what the schools are going to be paying. Schools aren't paying NIL. Schools are paying a wage. You have to understand the difference. All right? Once you understand the difference, you'll understand the equation. But NIL, totally unrelated to what's going on now with the, quote, $20 million salary cap. Completely different. Jeff, I have no NIL thoughts. How's I don't know. I don't know where Collier is. I don't know. I mean, we got David Coker, we got David Collier. 2 totally different avatar pictures. How's Collier dealing with full-blown winter storm run? Is he full-blown winter storm tonight? I mean, it kind of pissed out, right? It didn't do much. I'm sure they're disappointed, all the meteorologists, right? Danny, you've got Facebook and X viewers now. Given any thought to broadcasting on MySpace as well, could bring in 3 more listeners. I bet I still have an account somewhere that I don't know how to access. Men's basketball defense really stepped up last 10 after the refs put BYU into the bonus, played well without sending them to the line. They did that in the Utah game after the second media timeout. They really took control. And then last night, they just realized you can't touch them. You can't do anything. You're getting hammered on the fouls by the officials. They adjusted to that on the road. That's a sign of a really mature team, a well-coached team, that they understood we just, you can't be too aggressive. I thought they took over passing lanes really well last night. They fronted post at different times and did things, taking away passing lanes. And this team can be a good defensive team. The UCF game, I think, was an embarrassment to Grant McCasland. First and foremost, period, end of sentence. Your head coach was embarrassed, and I think that was communicated empirically and very privately to the team, that I think he was completely embarrassed by what happened New Year's Eve in Lubbock against UCF. Not a good team. Not a good team at all. Bad loss. Zanya. Oh, help me out on that one. Zanya? Is that some sort of social media thing I missed out on? Back in the old days of the Williams and Hyatt show, my producers would handle all of the social media. They would set it up. They would create it. Most of the time, they posted or added the stuff that was going on. So in 2010 to 2012, if you saw us on social media, other than my own personal Facebook page, that's what you were getting. Zania. Zantac, maybe? I think I've had Zantac a couple of times. All right, a few more minutes left. What if Wednesday? How different would the landscape be today if the NCAA had allowed the paying of players 15, 20 years ago? I'll say this. It would be different. It would be more controlled. You would have gotten to a long time ago the salary cap idea that they're trying to impose. What it may have created in a 10-year window is where we've got to get to now, which is a union for college football players, basketball players, or otherwise. Now that's where you really control cost. And it's going to be, in the old days, it was players fighting for a union in Major League Baseball, NFL, all that stuff. Now it's going to be the NCAA fighting hard to try to get the players to unionize so they can control cost. If I'm a college athlete today and somebody wants me to unionize, that's dumb. Why? I can make tons of money outside of it. And even when this house settlement comes in, and when we say house settlement, that's the term in the courts. It's not like a house, all right? But when the settlement comes in, it's still going to be challenged legally over and over and over and say, why can my school only pay this when I've not agreed to it? That it is a de facto collectively bargained agreement that I didn't agree to. When I came here to work, I didn't sign a contract that said, I can only get this out of this pool. The only way you can do that is to have a CBA. So I think the biggest thing that would have happened if 15, 20 years ago, the NCAA had allowed schools to say, all right, we're going to set aside this pool and we're going to pay this, that it would have accelerated getting to where they needed to be and need to be now. And if they don't get there quickly, it's going to kill them. Let's see. Zanya? Similar to MySpace. I don't remember it at all. Fake Natalie Maines on Twitter X. Thank God, finally somebody off Twitter. We got hundreds and hundreds of people watching, and I don't know. Still, I think the comments may not be coming in. Dear Hyatt, how are you? Well, I'm fine as hell. Do you think McCasland made the players run jingle jangles until they threw up after UCF? It worked. They're Utah State champs. Need T-shirts. And Utah is not a state, to my knowledge. All right. Utah is a territory, unless something has changed that I don't know about. History books I grew up reading, school I went to, the territory of Utah, right? You know, I don't know. Where are all your viewers on X? I hope they get the help they need. Agreed. Unionize against whom? See, that's the great question. This is why the schools have to form a football only league first. Just like the NFL, you got 64, 72 teams. You break away from the NCAA, and then you create your own, just like the college football playoff, your own entity. Your own entity. And then as a business, you can engage in collective bargaining agreements. You have to break away from the NCAA to do that. Then you have to do that in basketball, men's side. Then not much else will matter. NCAA not not running in big college football. I think I know what you mean, but maybe not. Couple of minutes left. Tech basketball to talk about. We will get into the Tech ISU game. Again, just by playing ISU, we use the term RPI, ratings percentage index, and we know that that doesn't mean what it used to mean, but I think it's the easiest way to explain it. But I give you two sites, hoopshd.com, Chad Sherwood, best in the business with the nitty gritty, real time ranking in regards to the NCAA tournament, and Dave Almond, bracketville.wordpress.com. Nobody does it better than those two over the last 10 years, basically, at least 7. If you listen to Joe Lunardi and you pay attention to anybody who links to Joe Lunardi, you're your own fool. He knows not what he talks about. These people do. That's why I utilize them. So if you want to know where your team is in real time regarding where they're going to be in the NCAA tournament, you pay attention to me and you pay attention to Hoops HD and bracketville.wordpress. That's why I do this for you guys. You know, I hate the ill-informed. I hate people walking around going, "Yeah, man, you just beat BYU. You're probably like a 5 seed." No, you're not even in the tournament right now. Yeah. What do you mean you're not in the tournament, man? You got all these wins. Yeah, you ain't beating anybody. Sorry I'm late. I just made it in. Well, we're glad you're in. The ceremony is about to begin. By that I mean, yeah, like maybe like 2 minutes, you know? Get your thoughts in, questions, comments. Be interesting to see what the weather does tomorrow. You know, see what happens weather-wise. That there were some late indications that maybe around here we get a dusting of snow. I really either want snow or nothing, because that means if we don't get the snow, then we're talking ice, and nobody does ice, baby, around here very well at all, and that'll suck. So what we really need is either snow or nothing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So the next thing you guys do tonight, yeah, I appreciate you being out here. Share what we do on Twitter, on Facebook, and everything else. Link back theraiderland.com, or anything we do on Twitter and everything else. If you want to do something for us, do that. That means a lot. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Even if you watch on Facebook, even if you watch on Twitter X, it doesn't matter. Just subscribe to it. Give us some thumbs up over there, and that'll be awesome. And when we hit 500 on the YouTube channel, it just goes apoplectic. It'll be really good. Yeah, this will be a good one to end on. Danny. Okay, I'm back. What I missed? Sorry, I was changing my MySpace background and music. I need a link to Rush Limelight, though. Living on the Lighted Stage. For those who think and feel, approaches the unreal. Each another's audience. Side the Gilded Stay. Limelight, if not the best Rush song of all time. Do we do that tomorrow? Greatest Rush songs of all time? If not, if not the greatest, it's got to be right there. See right there. Limelight, perfect walk-up song. Bow-no-no-no-no. Bow-no-no. Hmm. Look at that, Danny. Love Rush. Love Rush. Are you just saying that because there's a hand grenade? Never mind. That's an odd movie reference. Maybe we do top Rush songs. That was the second Rush song I learned how to play on guitar. Tom Sawyer was the first. And I know you're going, really? How? And it was not easy. And then Limelight, I'm like, oh, this is a lot easier. It's a little riff. Nothing easy, by the way, with Alex Lifeson. But if you want to like play a cheat code on it, it's a little riff, and then it's a couple of bar chords, and then you're off and running. Yeah. If I could reach my guitar over there, I'd play it for you right now. But it's a bit of a stretch over there to the area of the guitar. Share it. Invite people in. Thanks to everybody on MySpace tonight. You guys are awesome. Can't do it without you, our MySpace people. Have fun with us on Twitter, right? Do that. Do that. Get on Twitter and share. Do that on Facebook. Do that on our YouTube channel, please. Sign up for us. Drive us on YouTube over 500. We can do it tonight with your help. I truly believe it. We could do it tonight with your help. All right, I got to hit the ends.